You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.
Electronics technicians help design, develop, install, and repair electrical and electronic equipment. They are experts in the function and mechanics of complicated equipment, often using software and meters to diagnose malfunctions and complete repairs. Meet expert electronics technician Tuhafeni Erastus, whose skill and determination to succeed in the area of transmitter electronics makes him a big asset to his employer, local telecommunications giant MTC. This is his story.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.
I'm Tuhafeni Erastus. I work for MTC. I work as a transmission engineering technician. So what I basically do is connect people. I connect phones, I connect computers. That is now in layman's term. I actually do the transmission network planning. That is from the access network as well as the backbones. So what we do is I design the network, I do the planning, and I also go for the implementation as well as do some of the project management as far as transmission is concerned. The other things what we also do, of course, we have the project part as well as the operation part. With the project part, we have the new equipment and the new technology that is coming in the industry, so we go out there and we deploy the new technology. With the operation, that is when now we monitor the network, we provide resources where it's needed. Yeah, that is in the nutshell what we do.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.
Born at Omesekonime village in Oshikoto, Tuhafeni's childhood proved challenging. His unemployed single mother had to relocate to Ochivarongo in the Ocho-Danjupa region, and Kapana sales was the sole source of income to raise Tuhafeni and his 3 siblings. After Tuhafeni completed grade 7 at the Orvetoveni Primary School, it was decided that he return to the north and stay with his aunt.
That's where I started now my grade 8 at a school called Namaoka Combined School. Of course, while I was thinking maybe things are gonna be better there, it was still rocky, just where I was coming from. Of course, I managed. That's where we learned now that people study on candles and you have to collect firewood just for light for you to study.
Readapting to the village life proved challenging at first. However, Tuhafeni knew by then that he was destined for greater things and that performing well in school was his ticket.
I really thank God because I knew the importance of education. Despite all the challenges that I was going through, I always make sure that I stick to my studies, and ever since I came there, I have been the top student from grade 8 to 10 until the final results. I was topping. So after I've completed now my grade 10, I had to go to the secondary school. The secondary school is called Tumadikange Kaulinge. It's also in Nohangwena region. That's where now I completed my grade 11 and 12. I was still the best student from grade 11 to grade 12.
Tuhafeni's boyhood dream of qualifying as a lawyer soon evaporated when he came to the capital. Although he was accepted at the University of Namibia to study law, it was the distance to the UNAM campus compared to that of the then Polytechnic of Namibia that made him rather enroll for a course in engineering at the latter.
I thought now life was gonna be good, it's city life. When I came into Windhoek, it was even worse. Because now when I was at high school, at least I was in the hostel, at least there was no issue of candles and stuff, but when I came to Windhoek, it's still again the very same issue of using candles to study and at times just using your phone. But now the challenge was I had to foot from Akuriangava. So now looking at where UNAM was and looking at where Polytech was, so I said, well, it was better if I settle for Polytech, because now then it's a bit nearer for me as opposed to going to UNAM footing. So I registered at Polytech. And of course, I started my introduction to engineering studies.
The distance to campus soon took its toll on Tuhafeni. Often too tired and hungry to study, and once again having to deal with no electricity at home, he often had to resort to sleeping over in the hostel rooms of friends. The death of his mother compounded matters, and the knowledge that he now was responsible for his 3 siblings weighed heavily on his mind. Things improved slightly when Tuhafeni moved to stay with another cousin in Havana, who supported him with food and taxi money. However, just as things were starting to improve, job demands soon required his cousin to relocate to Oshikango in Ohangwena. Tuhafeni was close to giving up on his dream when a church friend intervened, and he ended up staying with a family in a flat in Windhoek North.
Now from there, even the performance, my academic performance was now on par. So I had to make sure now, because if I can make it in the ghettos and still get something, how about now if I have electricity, you bath, everything in some point, I mean, you have nothing to worry about, food is provided. So I really performed very well. So I had to make sure that I study very hard just to secure a bursary. Of course, I knew that if you are studying engineering, the likelihood of you getting a bursary is very high, but you just need to make sure that your results are quite outstanding.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.
Tuhafeni's confidence grew and his academic performance improved. He applied for several bursary opportunities, and after several disappointments, MTC called him in for a bursary interview.
So what I did was prepare very well, take my certificates from grade 1 and all the other awards that I got in between up to the academic record at tertiary. I went there. I explained to them the situation that, guys, I can't do anything without your shoulder or your assistance. So you are the only ones that will save me. If I don't get this bursary, then I don't know, I'm not gonna continue again. And I don't want to be just part of one of those guys that are just in the streets there and try rob people and stuff. I really want to maybe one day contribute that to the social and the economic development of our country. So I had to tell them, and most of them, when I left, of course, they really understood that the gentleman is desperate, he is indeed in need of the bursary.
So when he approached us, as MTC, we look at it and said, okay guys, let's give the gentleman an opportunity. His results were good. He was a very hard-working guy at school. So that's how we came to give him the opportunity in this department. So we took him in the program that we have, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2015. We gave him bursary, and then we also gave him employment. So the bursary part was the mandatory part, but the employment part came from his personality, his work ethics. When he was coming in for the holidays, working for us, we saw in him a huge potential and gave him the opportunity.
Today, MTC is reaping the rewards of its decision to invest in the future of a deserving student. The growing demand for jobs in the electronics, engineering and service fields is the result of a recent proliferation of both consumer and industrial electronic products especially in the key sector of telecommunications, allowing Tuhafeni's career to thrive. And he is cementing his reputation as a loyal, dedicated go-getter.
Erastus came in as a student, and he had to go through all the departments that we have in technology, in networks, which is transmission, radio, optimization. He has to go through all those departments so that he pick up skills in every department before settling down in transmission, to give him the opportunity. So, except that he was a hard-working person and he had a very difficult background, he dedicated most of his time to MTC and to his task that he was given. And he brought in some sort of energy, that willingness, that challenge, you know. Over the years in this industry, you find only the old guys in the industry. So you need to break through those experiences. You need to somehow, you're a little bit of a small slave. You do all the small bad jobs, but eventually you break through with your skills and with your knowledge, what you are picking up on the way. So he managed that. He brought in that willingness, that challenging aspect of saying, everything is possible. Give me a task, I'll do it.
The challenges are quite a lot. There are certain times where the network goes off, but now then you don't really know what is that is wrong with the network. So it's now up to you to actually identify what is that with the network and what solution will you propose. So it becomes a challenge because nowadays people depend on the network. Let's say, for instance, there is someone that is involved in an accident, and if the network is off, obviously they can't call, that is to get help. Of course, there are people in the banks doing some transaction. In other words, they depend on us. So it's a challenge to us. It means you need to work as fast as possible to find a solution to attend to that problem. If I can give an example, there was a time where we had a network that went off in Ochivarongo. Of course, Ochivarongo is feeding Karibeb, not Karibeb, but Ocho and the other towns within the vicinity of Ochivarongo. So there was a problem, and it was a hardware problem. So I had first to log onto my computer, identify where the problem is. Of course, it's a big network, but now then you have to pinpoint where is the problem coming from and why are all these sites affected. Upon identifying the problem, now I need to get all the necessary tools and equipment, get into my car and drive there. Of course, getting to some of the sites that we have in the network is also not rosy. Of course, some sites are on the mountains, so it's a struggle again to get up there. The moment I get onto the mountain, now I need to get, of course, each and every tower has a room where our equipments are housed. So I will have to go in there and try to log into the equipment that are there. Of course, when there is a problem, some of the equipment are lost from the management, meaning we cannot manage them from the office. So I will have to go there, get my laptop, log into the equipment, find the problem. If it's an equipment that needs to be replaced, then I will have to take another equipment, configure it exactly as the other equipment that was there, then put it there. Otherwise, if it's another problem where I just need to solder or maybe do something for it to be, operational again, then I will have to do that.
Despite his success and the challenges he had to overcome along the way, Tuhafeni continues to push himself in furthering his education. Currently enrolled for a master's degree in electrical engineering, specializing in telecommunications at Wits University in South Africa, he appreciates that his story can inspire others to not give up on their dreams.
Well, I believe the telecommunication is one of the industries that is growing very fast. So if someone wants to study telecommunications or venture in, or rather get a career in telecommunications, I would say that's the best career to go for, because technology is forever growing and on a fast pace. So if you want to go in that industry, I should say you should go for it. It's really one of the growing industries, and believe me, in terms of employment, the likelihood of you not getting employed is very low. And it's not really only about employment. It also equipped you to the extent that you can also create your own job. You can also be your own boss. So the opportunities are all over. Studying never ends. Well, I will maybe stop the day I feel like, of course, I have discovered something and I feel like I have done my mark on earth, so I should end here. But I don't really see myself stopping, studying anytime soon. So I will have, of course, after my master's, I will have to go for my PhD. Then maybe if I go for my PhD, then yeah, I will still continue with the research and the consultations and just to make sure that I make a difference, especially in the area that I have specialized into. If you look at the people that came back then, if you bring them into the equipment that we are using now, they might not understand anything, meaning of you need to continuously develop yourself. As the technology evolves, you also need to do the very same thing. So you can never rule out the aspect of you continuously developing yourself.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.
Away from the demands of work and studies, Tuhafeni keeps humble in his social interactions, spending quality time with his friends and loved ones.
I just have to say, this gentleman you see here today, is a humble guy. First, when you're humble, everything start coming to you, because you are humble on the face of nature. So this guy went through a lot, like I said, and that's why he started even excelling not only academically or socially. This guy is thriving. That's why he's a telecommunication engineer today.
Tuhafeni is my boyfriend, as I said earlier, and I know him as a very determined and hardworking person. Looking at his work ethic, he's very determined in his career. He's the type of guy who has his phone all the time. Every time he receives a call from work, wherever he is, grab the phone and attend to the problem. He's a problem solver, and he is very, 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 very particular with whatever he's work, putting his hands on. He pays attention to detail, and I must say he's an influencer in a way that I'm even wearing this top just for him, because he has influenced me in so many ways, professionally and also just as a life partner.
Well, normally when I tell people my story, it's not really to say there isn't someone that has suffered just like me, but the message is actually for those that are currently going through that situation, that if you find yourself using candles and other kids are having electricity, if you find yourself maybe at times you have no food to eat at home, you find yourself at times you have no electricity or taxi money, just know that you are not the first one. We have gone through that. So for as long as you believe that one day I'm gonna make it, there is nothing that will stand in your way. All you have to do is just to believe in your dreams and push as much as you can.
Tuhafeni Erastus, driven, focused and determined. A trailblazer who is embracing the potential of the thriving telecommunications sector. His story teaches us the true meaning of perseverance in the face of adversity. He is living his dream. He is living his passion.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, Live your passion, yeah.
Live Your Passion is supported by the European Union.
You can be anything you want. You can achieve it if you just believe. Take you to a place you can be your true self. Live your passion, yeah.